Frankfort police are trying to figure out who stole a badge and a gun from an officer's unmarked car.
Thunderstorms on the increase across central and eastern Kentucky as we track a strong fall cold front into the area. That's up next.
And former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle is headed to prison. We'll tell you about his plea deal and what it means for his victims.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. Storms are popping up in central and eastern Kentucky, and some of them could be strong. You're looking live at downtown Lexington, where it's dry and sunny and in the low 80s right now, but it'll feel much different tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking storms on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, this big cold front, Jennifer, we've been hawking now for the better part of the past week is just about on top of the area. And those thunderstorms that are going up quickly to our west and southwest have the potential for at least some localized severe weather. We look at live First Alert Defender, and you notice how the Lexington Metro, we're pretty much in the high and dry zone, though some bigger storms are taking aim at the region over the next few hours. Parts of southern Kentucky, London, just north of Corbin, over into the Manchester area, parts of McKee there into Jackson County. We've had some heavier downpours right now, heaviest rain right on top of the East Bernstadt area. Farther to the west, now we start to see these thunderstorms that are cranking across the I-65 corridor around Glasgow. Severe thunderstorm warning is actually out for this cell to the southwest of E-Town. They may have some hail and high winds, and the trajectory on that is from southwest to northeast, so anything that is down there is going to wander into central Kentucky over the next few hours. Future radar, hour by hour, between 6 and 8 o'clock this evening, a band of thunderstorms across most of the Bluegrass region. Then it's additional rounds of storms that we will track right on into the middle of the overnight. All of this coming behind or ahead of our big push of cool air. This is an out-and-out taste of fall that is on the way. Until that fall front arrives, though, Jennifer, the thunder will roll across central and eastern Kentucky. Then we'll track the nice temperatures when I come back here in about 15 minutes.
Thanks, Chris. A Central Kentucky Police Department has issued a warning this afternoon. Someone stole a Frankfort police captain's badge and handgun overnight from his unmarked cruiser. WKYT's Sean Moody has details on what police are telling people if they're approached by someone with a badge. It's our top story at 4.
Frankfort police say this happened sometime overnight. They say the officer's badge and handgun were inside a gym bag inside the unmarked car. Now they're concerned that badge and gun could be out there on the streets. Frankfort police say a captain with their department went to his car this morning to find that someone had broken into it. They said it was an unmarked car, but they said it should still have been obvious that it was a police vehicle. In fact, they think the person who did this may have specifically targeted it. Now there's a captain's badge and a department-issued Glock 27 handgun somewhere out there. Their biggest concern is that someone will try to use the badge to impersonate an officer.
Anytime somebody in plain clothes shows you a badge and tries to identify themselves as a police officer, that you would ask for a photo identification that should accompany that badge.
Police are accepting anonymous tips through Frankfort Crime Stoppers. If that tip leads to an arrest, it could be worth $1,000. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Police say it's unusual for someone to steal from locked vehicles. They say they usually look for easier targets. A man accused of killing 6 people in a crash went to court in Lexington today, and police ended up arresting a woman in the courtroom. They took Charity Pennington into custody because they say she didn't take a drug test after being released from jail on bond. Police arrested Pennington and Ben Brewer last week in Lexington. Brewer was wanted out of Chattanooga, Tennessee on 6 counts of vehicular homicide. Police say he's responsible for a crash in June that killed 6 people. During today's hearing, Brewer waived extradition to Tennessee. It's a busy day on the University of Kentucky campus. Hundreds of freshmen and sophomores are moving in today. More will arrive tomorrow and Friday. 2,000 students moved in last weekend. New residence halls, Woodland, Glen 3, 4, and 5 are now open. One UK freshman we talked to has mixed emotions about starting college.
Well, it's really exciting, but at the same time I'm really nervous because it's a huge step in my life, a big transition.
The public can tour the new residence halls until 5 o'clock today. Another new addition to campus is the 90, a dining hall featuring a Taco Bell Express, a French cafe, and aqua sushi. Big news for Big Blue Nation. Coach John Calipari has landed one of the top players in the class of 2016. Sasha Kalia Jones is a 6'11" power forward. The high school senior decommitted from Virginia in June. He picked Kentucky over UNC, NC State, and Kansas, among other schools. He's UK's second verbal commitment from 2016, joining New Zealand's Ty Wynyard. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. An abuse case in Michigan has now led to a new investigation here in Kentucky. Police in Michigan say they found Candy Lawson's disabled sister starving and locked in a closet. Now police are looking into the 2009 death of her mentally challenged brother in Frankfort. According to his death certificate, he died of malnutrition. Back in Michigan, police say Lawson's mother had custody of 8 mentally challenged people. Lawson took custody of 2 of them when her mother died, but police say 4 of those people are unaccounted for at this time. We'll have more on this investigation on WKYT News at 6. People in southern Kentucky have been told to be on the lookout for a man who escaped from prison. 42-year-old Richard Schell escaped from the Blackburn Correctional Complex in Lexington yesterday. He's been convicted several times in the southern Kentucky area. Police say they don't think he's dangerous, but they say Schell has been incarcerated numerous times and has been accused of running from them. Schell's former addresses include Corbin, Clay County, and Tomcat Trail in London. He's faced charges of resisting arrest, drugs, and robbery.
That's what we're hoping for. Of course, we've already checked at some of his known hangouts in Laurel County, and we haven't found him. So we're just hoping that citizens will be aware that he is an escapee. They may know of him or know of his location, and we hope that they'll contact us and let us know.
Most recently, Schell was sentenced to 7 years on receiving stolen property charges in Laurel Circuit Court. We'll have an update on the search for Schell on WKYT News at 5. And medical researchers are warning about drug-resistant head lice. Kentucky is one of 25 states around the country where this type of lice has been found. Researchers say lice are building up a tolerance to traditional over-the-counter treatments, but they say many prescription medications are still effective against this type of lice. We'll have more on this story for you coming up on WKYT News at 5:30. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. The famous face of Subway has gone from hawking fast food sandwiches to pleading guilty to shocking federal charges. Sharice Pham has the latest on Jared Fogel's stunning admission.
I'm Jared, the Subway guy, and this is my story.
Jared Fogel is about to be known for a very different story. This morning, the former face of Subway pleaded guilty to possessing child pornography, including images of children as young as 6 and engaging in sexual acts with minors as young as 16.
This is about using wealth, status, and secrecy to illegally exploit children.
Fogel faces between 5 and 13 years in prison and will have to adhere to a pornography ban and sexual disorders treatment.
Remember Jared from Subway?
It's a far fall for the fast food pitchman, who rose to fame for losing 245 pounds after following his so-called Subway diet. He's been hawking Subway sandwiches since 2000 and even started the Jared Foundation to fight childhood obesity. Russell Taylor, a friend of Fogel's and the executive director of the foundation, was arrested in April on federal child pornography charges. According to prosecutors, he secretly recorded minors while they were changing or bathing, sharing some of the material with Fogel.
Jared Fogel expects to go to prison. He will do his time.
Fogel will be paying out $1.4 million to a total of 14 victims. His wife said in a statement today, "I am extremely shocked and disappointed. I am in the process of seeking a dissolution of the marriage." As part of his plea deal, Fogel, a father of 2, will have no unsupervised visits with minors. I'm Sharice Pham reporting.
Jared Fogel's defense team released a statement that says, most importantly, Jared understands that he has hurt innocent people, vulnerable people, and his family. His intent is to spend the rest of his life making amends. Target is going to have to pay up for the 2013 data breach. We'll tell you how much in WKYT Money Watch. And hackers threatened to post personal information, and it appears they have. The fallout from that hack of the online dating site, Ashley Madison.